Good morning, guys. It's a Thursday morning and quite a rainy one again. It just poured down when we were getting up this morning, and now it's very cloudy and seems like it's gonna rain again all day. Well, it looks like we could have some sun, really warmer weather just next week, and everything is so wet in the garden. I'm getting a bit worried about the plants because too much moisture is not good, as well as dry heat. So some of them are falling down, like for example some peony leaves or stems are falling because they are starting to rot. But well, what can you do? Can't affect the weather, actually. There's no way. There's something people still haven't learned to do, and maybe it's good, right? I'll show you these anemones. I really like them. Well, this one is, suffered from the rain as well, but there is something magical about the color and also about these veining on the flower. Isn't this so beautiful? To me, it looks like some magical flower from some fairy tales. Maybe this is not the best example, but as I'm saying, they have all suffered from the rain. Looks like this one is opening, and on the other side I also have some of them. I don't know actually what happened. I planted quite a lot of these anemones, and most of them didn't come up, and I saw some like trails or tracks or something like that in the ground. So it means I think some rats or water rats probably ate them. So I have just a few left. Maybe this is the most beautiful one that we have now. Yep, a pretty one. But it should be full with them, but unfortunately just a few. And overall everything is mostly green, because you can see that the flowers also don't like the wet weather. Here I have rose that covers the ground, but also not blooming that hard. Well, I had two of them, like one here and one here. When I planted them, just when we started the garden, I wasn't sure how wide are they going to get, but they were quite big, and they started to like tingle with each other. So I replanted one just like a month ago to another part in the garden. I'm happy I did it because now this one can freely grow, and this is actually a flower bed where I'm kind of saving some free space. I don't know for what actually. These are peonies, coral ones. I have here the pink Hawaiian sunset and the Karl Rosenfeld, and some Kansas. But I have been buying also some separately some single peony roots, and I know that there is also a Miss America, Sunny Girl, I think. Okay, what can I show you? Here I have like a peony bed. When we started the garden, I planted here I think some 6 peonies, and those are those bigger bushes that stand out from the other ones, like this one. But last year I bought like a bigger box of one brand. It was called the Scarlet, a red one. It's an anemone type peony. It's not with a full flower, and I just didn't have place where to plant them, so I planted them among all of these peonies. And now of course I see that it's much too dense, and among the peonies I have these roses, and as I'm saying, it's too close together. So I'm waiting when my husband makes the flower bed for me, a new one, and I will dig out all these scarlets, which are the smaller ones. You can see they are everywhere, here and everywhere around this hedge, and also there's also the same variety. I will dig them all out and plant them in one circle, because I love the way that it looks when you have one type of flowers, one color, in a bigger mass, because we have a huge territory, it will look much better. So, but the roses are kind of, I think, doing quite well, taking into account the rain. And these metal things I have around them, actually I use for peonies, but when the peonies stopped blooming, I put them around the roses, because especially in the rain the flowers are heavy and they're falling down. So, and what else I can show you? Here's the pond. Last night it was raining and I was filming the water itself, and there was fish jumping. I will maybe include it also in the video. Here I have I think it's Annabelle, and this one is like huge. It's delphinium, but I remember very clearly that I bought one delphinium which had like 1 or 2 flowers, and I think a deer was running through the garden at night and it broke the one, and then just one bloomed. But I think it was 1 year ago or 2 years ago, but now it's like a huge bush. But again, the problem, it's the wind and the wet weather that is kind of breaking them. I'm thinking I should put more these metal posts here, I think. But anyway, I hope they bloom and gonna look beautiful when the rain stops finally. But this actually, these are phlox, all from my mom's garden. The only brand, or not the brand, but the type, or I remember I have the Cleopatra. It's kind of very bright pinkish red one, but the other ones, maybe also it was something like sky. It's like light blue color, but just from my mom's garden. And then another rose blooming also quite beautifully. But as I say, everything is suffering from the rain. And here I have a bunch of Achillea. I remember this is called it was a German name, Lush Schönheit. It's the beauty of the salmon. But this type I wouldn't recommend, because it's quite tall and it's always flopping or falling down. It's never standing straight and always have these holes inside. Like I put also this a metal thing there. I don't like it actually. And the colors, well, I wanted to collect all the types, but I would be very careful if I planted somewhere else again, and I think then I would plant it in between some tall plants, just so they could hold it up and in a smaller clump. And these types, I think one of them is grapefruit and the other one is pomegranate. Could be, not sure actually. I think it's grapefruit, at least that one, yeah. And the lavender always looks wonderful, isn't it? There was a bee just a minute ago. Beautiful. Lavender is a great choice for gardens. This color is nice, it's bright, but when it of course looks its best when it's dry and sunny and doesn't have all these spent blooms here. So Petunia Vista, but I'm not sure about the name, sorry guys. Then some roses again. So this is Salvia from my mom's garden. Wasn't sure how huge it's gonna get, but it's quite big. It's very close to a rose, and I cut already. Everything actually is so close in this place, but that's from one side it's key to not to be forced to really weed the garden, because if you have empty spaces there, then you have to weed a lot. And this ground cover, I love it. I think it's one of the best looking ones in the garden. I bought it actually in just like a not in a nursery, but like a department store, where you can buy shovels and paints and everything, and they usually have gardening section. I bought it actually there, and it's really covering the ground beautifully. It was like 5 times smaller. And here is just an example of when you weed and when you mulch. This I didn't make it yet. I have left like a pathway through this whole flower bed, so you can walk through when you have to weed or anything. And here I didn't weed yet. Well, I did it a lot of times this summer already, but it's still growing again because of the rain and everything. And the half of it has been mulched, and it looks much better. I don't know actually why I have these logs in the garden, but I think in some like countryside gardens they look quite good. Maybe have add some interest, but it could be bad in the garden actually from the other side, that it attracts some insects. Well, not sure. It actually was originally around the edge of the flower bed, and it held the dirt and the mulch in place. But when I put some bricks around this flower bed, I just put them here, but I will probably remove it with time. So what else can we look at? This is just the lawn, and the bent flower bed is there, and here is another bag of mulch still waiting to be put there. But still, this is like just a piece of wood that we have been left here from just cutting wood, and it's just like a stop, something to view, catch the eye, not sure. But I like it. This is also another smaller flower bed. Here I have the usually actually how it all has been developing. Here was just lawn when we started the house and the garden, and I planted here just these evergreens or tuyas. I will check how it's in the English, the correct name, and there was just a lawn, and then we removed the part, made a bigger flower bed, planted something else, and then with time you just get a big one. It looks like this. It's been mulched and weeded. I did it on my vacation actually. Let's check what's the name of this one. I really like this one. I think it had the name of it somewhere in the middle. No, it's not there. I had actually found some nests of birds in them previously. I think it was here, or maybe not. It's called some golden something, and it got burned quite bad from this side this spring, unfortunately. From the other side it looks much better. Here are the lilies that are gonna bloom soon. It's called the Eastern Moon. Beautiful ones, like light pink. Then these peonies, all of them are the ones that I mentioned, the scarlet, that I didn't have any place to put them last spring, and I just planted them everywhere where I had a free spot. I want to take them all out and move to another place. This is the biggest tree that we have here because it was just a meadow, and we're so happy that there are some trees that are providing shade already. It's called the Drummondi. It has like a variegated leaf. It has the new leaves are dark green, but has like a white. In the best case, they have a white edge, but this one you see it's like lime green, and it has grown so much. And what changed? When did it start growing? Really, when we removed the grass around it. And every single tree here, when you remove the grass around the trunk, it starts growing so good. And when my husband was removing the grass this spring around 3 blue spruces that we have here, the difference is huge how they have grown. And here was a story again. I met a lady who said she wants to reorganize her garden, and I bought from her several plants. One of them were these like balls. I don't know what's the name of English, these ones. And she also sold me rhododendron, a summer one, white. It was called April Snow, and it was not growing. It was not blooming. It bloomed, and it was a early frost, and all the white blooms turned brown, and it was dying actually. I think that's why she sold it, because you don't usually take out of the garden anything you love. But when she sold it to me, it had some anemones around the root of the rhododendron. And she told me, wow, you're getting even the anemones from my garden, just a few ones. But they never bloomed and they didn't grow. And last spring, I think, or autumn, I got angry actually about the rhododendron, that it's not blooming. It's just like a old branch standing there in my garden, you know, like somebody would have put it just in the ground. And I took it out. And once I did it, these anemones just started spreading like crazy here. And you see, they're simple. I think they're like called like the forest anemones. But it's one place, one part of the flower bed which has been filled in now. It's blooming, and I love the foresty feel of them. So great, let them grow. This is Miss Kim lilac. I had planted something else in this place which again didn't succeed. I think it was the Acer, the maple, the Japanese maple, but it's too cold here, I think, for them. This is the lilac, and it's first spring, I think, here, and it was already blooming, and it's a small one. It's not it's a very compact one. So if you have a small spot like I have here between these two yellow evergreens, I think it's a good option. It's a bit hard to see because, as I said, everything is so green. Here is my little reindeer or deer, and some lady. No, it's not lady's mantle. It's, oh shoot, I forgot the name. Sorry. And some darker roses, like a crimson or dark violet, maybe color. Like here you can see. I never remember all those names, and I'm sorry about it, but if somebody would be really interested, I can check, because I have like a document in my computer where I wrote down actually those names of the plants. But yeah, it's nice. And catmint. This one already needs to be sheared back, but... And here I have the arch, actually. Maybe you have an opinion about it. I put on it, the Christmas lights, and it looked really nice in the winter time, the arch, because, peonies and lilies, nothing is here at that time. And, well, I didn't know what to do, because it was quite a big job to put the Christmas lights on it. I had to use these plastic things, how it's called, I don't know the name. And it was a lot of work, I was working for hours, and I was thinking maybe I leave it on the arch also in the summer, and I can even maybe switch it on in the summer if there's some special event at our home. But I must say, I don't like the look of this white plastic on the metal of this gray metal arch. But to remove it again, it's going to be huge work. And the other thing is that I have planted these honeysuckles on the arch, and if they grow through this then I can't. It's impossible to remove it. I don't know. How do? You usually have some. People usually have some lights on arches, and do you take them off or you just leave them? Here is the one of them growing, and the other one. It's the first, spring, but it's quite good. I have to come here quite often to, like push it again through, so it would be holding. And there's one sweet pea. Sweet peas are doing quite bad this year for me. I don't know why. They're just not growing. Maybe because they didn't have these not stakes, but these wires, these fabric, these strings. But well, this one is the biggest one I think I have, and I hope it blooms. Okay, well, and I can show you something interesting. There's a storch. I'm sorry about this old wood, but that's just a pile of old wood we have from building the house. But it's a stork, right? And isn't this funny? Look, there's the stork, and here I have on the right side this artificial stork. It's not like I'm crazy about buying all these figurines for the garden, but once I saw a marketplace advertisement about person who's selling some big flower pots, and you know flower pots are really expensive. And I went there, and there was a whole place full of different stuff like flower pots, and also a lot of these garden figurines, like this little reindeer that I showed you, and a stork, and some other things. And I thought, well, I just take it, because I don't like if you have a lot of these things in the garden. It's just my preference, because, well, I don't know, but I like if you have some figurines somewhere, like also some maybe Greek style figurines, like a beautiful lady, standing in the garden. But I like the look when it's surrounded quite densely with plants and flowers, and looks like the figurine is like coming out of the flowers or covered with the flowers partially. That's my favorite look. Well, this looks like it's going to be my friend today. I have some company. It's often like a zoo here, but we have these Spanish slugs. Have been having them around this area for a few years. And if you go to the part of the meadow where you see there's this long, tall grass, then it's the ground is covered with them. And I think the stork is doing a great job. Like he's eating them away. So I'm all about him coming visiting me. Yep. Well, what else could I show you? Let's turn around. Maybe it's not the best looks, like doing this. I'm sorry, it's one of my first videos. I have to learn how to do it. There across the pond we have the mermaid. I got her in some vintage shop many years ago. It was actually like a foot of a table, and she had a glass top of the table on her, but you can't see when you remove the glass, and now she looks great at the side of the pond. Okay, let's do it like this. Okay, maybe we'll end on this note. Have a great day, everyone, and I will try to get back to you and show you something nice from the garden again. There you can see those figurines actually in there. Still not like, it's not my favorite look, but like for example this one, this boy who is standing under this maple, and I had made a circle around the tree. I planted there some boxwood around the circle and some heuchera. It's called the Paris, with quite bright flowers, pink color, and some other things. And it already looks like he's standing in the flower bed. It's better, and under a tree. There's his like sister or girlfriend, a little lady. I haven't done anything with her actually, with the placement of this one, but the best one I like is that boy in the distance. He is already looking better in this big round flower bed. He's in the middle of the big flower bed, and I had planted around him dahlias, but only 2 of them came up, and I see that slugs are already eating them. So unfortunately it's not looking like I wanted it, but it's gonna be the place where he stays. Yep, actually he fell down last winter. I had placed him in another place and he fell down, and he had fallen on a rock, and he had kind of broken into 2 halves, but I got some glue and some silicone or something, and I fixed him. So I hope it stays like that. Okay, so thank you so much. I'm just rambling here, something about the garden, but maybe you can hear the birds. Have a wonderful day, and see you next time in my garden.